welcome to the Voice of the Coast. I'm your host, Danika Foley. And look, watching that intro, I look at that because you were one of my very first interviews when we did the transition from doing our regular news to now doing the Voice of the Coast. And you made the promo, the introduction. So I'm so excited. We're here again. Again, we're talking to Beverly Domengeaux, who is the executive director with St. Mary Council on Aging. The last time we talked, we were pretty much kind of in the midst, right in the heart of this pandemic, and it looks like we're kind of moving on the other side of it. A lot of the restrictions have been lifted. What does this mean for the seniors who are just really excited, I think, just to get back to seeing one another? What does that mean to you?
Well, when I did my survey to find out when I had gotten word that we might be able to reopen the senior centers, I started calling everybody and finding out, and some of them were very hesitant, okay? Some of them were very glad, they wanted to know, and some of my gentlemen, they said, we can't play cards? I said, well, we'll figure out a way. We've even purchased paper push-out bingo cards to stay safe so they can play one game, we throw those away, We've got 18 pages of regulations to open up the centers, okay? A lot of things, they're okay. Mm-hmm. But the seniors, they're very hesitant, okay? They trust each other, but they're not trusting other people. Mm-hmm. So they gave me maybes, and they still they're at home. We're still doing a lot of shopping for them. They still haven't, one lady, she was so proud, she finally went to church, okay? Mm-hmm. And she said it was so nice because everybody was distancing and being very careful. So she felt good about going back to church.
Now, you just mentioned 18 pages of regulations. How do you tell a young person who is 60 to 90 years old you have rules that you have to abide by?
I say mother's talking or grandmother's talking, and they'll listen. And I break it down into what relates to them and what I have to do or what my staff has to do. Yeah. And that's the other thing. I'm going to have to do special training with my staff if I can get some people hired, so that they understand that they can explain to the seniors also. Because see, like with the home delivered meals, we haven't been going into the homes and setting up, but we will be going back in. Okay, so we're going to. They've gotten used to one way, so now we're going to have to, and it's hard for a senior to change, okay? Yeah. Although part of our proclamation says that we've changed the meaning of aging, we have. We're living longer. I got to say we're sharper than we used to be, okay? Mm-hmm. We still got a lot of things that we can teach people if they listen. Mm-hmm. And one of our goals with the Council on Aging is give them a platform so they can speak up for the seniors. You hear all these people speaking up for all these different organizations and everything, but the seniors need to speak up for themselves.
Well, I must say that you are definitely a very vocal advocate. And if you go to any of our meetings across the parish, you definitely are bound to see Beverly Domengeaux in attendance. Now, let's talk about those 3 senior centers. We have one in Morgan City, one in Patterson, and one in Franklin. And I know you had your core group that would go faithfully. Do you think you're going to get more participants because now they're just ready to get out?
I believe we will, okay? And that's where we're going to have to be a little bit smarter about our programs and things, and offer things that would attract. Now, I'm looking for a pool table, okay?
Okay. Say it.
Okay, I'm looking for a pool table because I've had some gentlemen that said that, well, if you'd open on a Friday evening, we'll come over. And I thought, okay, we'll have a pool tournament, and I'll serve them hot dogs and root beer, and maybe get them out of the house, because some of them have gone back to work part-time. All right. So they need some. So we're going to look at our hours. My board approved it. We're going to look at our hours. We're going to look at our weekends. There's so much, and the weather, there's so much around St. Mary Parish that we could take little tours and let them see. Let them get out. They're
Yeah.
tired of their houses.
Now, I heard you say root beer. I know you had,
Root beer.
That's going to be happy hour.
Yes,
With the
that
root
is happy
beer.
hour,
That's
but it'd be
happy
root
hour.
beer.
Now, when you start, bringing in wine, just call me. I'll be the granddaughter.
I guarantee you they'd be beating down my doors.
All right, we're going to take a short break, but come on back right here on The Voice of the Coast with yours truly.
No, change has
Welcome
happened.
back to The Voice of the Coast. I'm your host, Danika Foley. With me, we have Beverly Domengeaux, who is our guest for today, and we're talking about St. Mary Council on Aging, particularly because now we know that the pandemic is starting to shift. We're seeing a shift. We're seeing masks are lifted. However, it is with the discretion of the business or organization. However, at your sites, you will still be masking.
Right,
Okay.
because of CDC.
Yes, and you have an 18-page list of regulations, which I don't think you will find any arguments from anybody because they're just ready to get out and mingle. But let's talk about, you have a 104-year-old
Yes.
in St. Mary Parish. Like, that's the kind of stuff we need to be talking about. Tell me a little bit about, some of our 100-year-olds and where they reside.
Well, we have several in the Franklin area. They go to church every Sunday, okay? Now, one of them still drives.
What?
Hush, yeah.
Okay, well,
we're not going to talk about that too much because families have trouble with this, okay? But you talk to them and you ask them, okay, about their longevity. And one lady, she was so funny because she said, I would sneak out and smoke and drink. And I said, what did you smoke? And she said, anything that I could find, okay? And she said, but my husband made me stop that, okay?
Yes,
they have
indeed.
funny stories and why. And, they always go back to the way we were raised, my generation was raised, that we didn't have fast food.
Okay.
We grew most of our food. We only used manure. We didn't have all this fancy fertilizers and stuff. So they're firm believers in that the environment, okay, because of our background of not having all that, that's why we're living longer, okay?
And that's what I wanted. That's why I brought up the 100-year-olds that live, in St. Mary Parish. Is that, the older we get, we like 50 ain't old, 60 ain't old, 40 ain't old. But back in the day, people were dying a little bit younger at 40, 50, 60, years
Right.
old. Now 60 is like they're, vibrant, they're
And
active.
It's not just the medications that have been developed for certain malingering diseases that eventually we'll all have. But it's also, I think, the mindset. We were more family-oriented, okay? And that's the one thing that my seniors, they really are having trouble with the separation of families, okay? Because they were used to having the family and having the Sunday dinners and doing all that, okay?
You better. Let me tell you, because I know when the matriarch passes, or the patriarch, the dad, the grandfather, when they pass, the family seems to shift, and it's no longer getting together on Sundays, getting together for holidays. No. When Mama and Papa pass away, the family has now seemed to just start to dwindle.
And that's what I try to tell the younger generation. Look at your grandmother, grandfather, okay? They kept the family together. You've got to keep the family together. And that's just like, I had a phone call from some of my husband's family in Brobridge because I'm the last aunt that they have, and I'm not, I'm by marriage. I'm a Domengeaux by marriage. But I'm the last of that age Domengeaux. And so they want me, to tell them what day, and they want to have a day with me, because they want their grandchildren to know my generation. And I think that's what we all need to do, is we all got to get back. one thing I have to say about the pandemic, I heard good things and bad things about being quarantined together and all, and I really feel like it brought closer together, okay?
Yeah.
It made you stop and think. And I'm going to get sidelined right here.
Oh, go
okay?
on.
You're fixing to have a big day, okay? I had 60 years with the best man in the world.
Uh-huh.
And I want to tell you, enjoy it, be friends, don't ever go to bed being mad. And on behalf of the seniors, we've got a little wedding present for you.
Oh, my. Oh, no. We're taping this, but this is live right now for me.
Well, that's all right.
Oh,
We wanted to surprise you.
Oh.
And they were delighted they found the market. So
You went to. I love it. Sorry, y'all. Y'all gotta excuse me. We gotta go to break.
Okay.
I'll talk to you during break. We'll see you guys in a minute. Come on back.
see you.
Welcome back to the Voice of the Coast. Again, I am your host, Danika Foley. I needed more than 2 minutes to get myself together because if you're just joining us and you missed it, I want to show it again.
Okay.
Miss Beverly Domengeaux actually got us a beautiful handmade charcuterie board. It's actually, I'm going to shout them out. This is free publicity to them. Southern Grace, and my fiance and I are the first bridal registry over there, and this is awesome. So thank you so much. And
You're welcome.
it's so crazy because I was just referencing how you were one of the first people to be serve as the guest on The Voice of the Coast after making the transition. So we have a lot of history. So I thank you so, so much. And again, this is on behalf of myself as well as my fiance, which I know you know as well. So,
Oh, yeah, very well.
And I love talking about, life and love. So we got a little time. We'll talk about that maybe after the show. Who knows? It might make the show. But let's get back on more about what it is at Council on Aging, particularly usually when we talk, it's either funding issues or it's personnel issues, meaning trying to find employees. And right now you're at a point where funding's actually pretty good, but you're trying to hire people and fill those positions, particularly your drivers.
Well, with the number of people that we've added during the pandemic, and I don't want to have to cut, okay? I've had to use everybody has done double duty, done their regular jobs as well as delivering meals. So if I reopened my senior centers, I had to put everybody back into their original jobs. So I have to have drivers to deliver the home delivered meals. It is only 3 hours a day, Monday through Friday. It's a heartwarming, heartbreaking job. One of my drivers, she says, "Don't ever take any of my people, she says. I said, okay, because we have to change the routes every once in a while so they don't have crossovers. But it will benefit the seniors because, of course, it'll benefit me having to make a difficult situation if I don't have the staff, what am I going to do, okay? They love to talk, and I tell everybody, well, yeah, in the book it says we're supposed to deliver within an hour and a half, but I said if they want to talk. Just call in and say I'm running a little bit late so we don't worry about you. You have to have the dependable transportation, a good driving record, and insurance we are looking at the salary scale right now, the board is, because we're doing the budget. Hopefully, but it's Monday through Friday, and I love it. I love delivering because it's so much fun. Of course, they always had to tell me I really didn't like that. And one gentleman, he called me up and he said, "You delivered my meal today. My wife got 7 more peaches than I did." I said,
my
okay.
goodness, wow.
So we have some good times, and we have, and you develop a friendship. It's really good. And
Give me that phone number for people to call if they are interested in being hired on.
907 6310 337.
6310. And of course, that area code is 337.
337.
So again, I'm gonna give
We
that
prefer
number.
that they come through the administration office because then we can do all the screening there.
Right.
Okay.
So just to call and make an appointment for,
Yeah.
an interview or application. So 337-907-6310. That's if you're interested. But there are also other positions that are available besides just being a driver. Some of those positions, you do have, I guess, administrative positions as well.
I do have a nutrition coordinator position that I'm looking at. I'm looking at some reorganization, okay?
Right.
And I really feel like, since that's our biggest program, I need somebody to oversee all 3 sites and do that. And I was looking for an assistant site coordinator in Patterson, but I found one this week.
Okay,
So
there we go.
we made a good hire, we think.
Yes.
Okay,
So when we come back, because the time is just flying, I told you how this works. It's always flying. Well, we're going to come back and we're going to talk more about the other services that you guys provide, which are homemaker and also respite services. So come on back right here on the Voice of the Coast.
Don't forget.
Welcome back to the Voice of the Coast. I am your host, Danika Foley. With me, we have Beverly Domengeaux, who is the Executive Director with St. Mary Council on Aging. Now, we talked all about everything else. I think now let's talk about other services that you provide.
Fine.
Particularly, you have homemaker services and you also have respite. So let's talk about homemaker and what that entails.
Okay. Number one, I want to make a statement here. They're not maids, okay?
Right.
They are homemakers. They come in to clean. By our rules and regulations, they're supposed to clean the 3 places that the senior uses the most. They have 2 hours, and so, I have such good homemakers. They do a lot over and above because they take care of the seniors. The main thing we do with the homemakers, we're making sure that they're safe and sanitary. And we do safety checks and make sure that they don't have rugs that they could fall on or have extension cords that could cause problems. We change light bulbs, all those kind of things, okay? So, and it's really, the biggest problem we have with the homemakers is animals, okay? And we have to be very careful about that, so we ask them to be sure the animals are kept someplace else. And we don't clean up after animals. We take care of our seniors. They are really, everybody calls and says, okay, I really need them because I'm having some people come in. And I say, you sure you're having some people come in? No, ma'am, I'm not having anybody come in. Because we do try to keep them as safe as we can. Now, with the respite and sitter, okay, those are qualified individuals that can actually take care of a bed-bound client. And it's more or less to give the caregiver an opportunity to get out of the house for a while.
Right.
We have one, she makes her beauty shop appointments on the day that we can come so that she knows her mother's going to be taken care of by somebody.
Yeah.
We can spend 4 to 6 hours on respite and sitter,
Yeah.
where on the homemaker is 2 hours, okay? We make sure that they have the products that they need, and if not, we have little buckets that we make up to make sure that they have things that can keep them safe. And I usually keep a good stock of diapers for people that don't have the means to buy diapers. And some of them have called me and said, what can I do? And we have pads, we have blankets, we have different things to help them out. One of my homemakers called and said that the man only had 1 set of sheets and they were worn out, so we were able to get him some sheets.
I'm just happy that you guys are able to fill in the gaps, especially where either family is not around or family just chooses not to be around. So I know you struggle with that, but I'm happy that you were, again, just able to fill in the gap.
Well, I have to tell you, the community, St. Mary Parish, they may take a lot of hits for different things, but when you ask, okay. But you got to ask, and that's the hardest thing for seniors to do is to ask for help.
Well, you ain't got to do it. I'll do it for you. We got 40 seconds. So if you would like to donate, you can donate just about anything. Particularly, you can also donate monetary donations. Right. It will be a tax write-off if you need it to be. You give them a call at 337-907-6310. The number again, 337-907-6310. Again, this is my guest, Beverly Domengeaux, who's the Executive Director with St. Mary Council on Aging. I am your host, Danika Foley. As always, make sure to subscribe to us on Facebook. We are KWBJ TV 22 and also on YouTube, KWBJ Live. Y'all take care.
Happy Mother's Day.
Woo, that's right. Yeah.